Welcome back to another episode of the Delusional Daydreams podcast. I am your host, Ari Lou. Today, I woke up with the most overactive, overthinking brain. Do you just ever have those mornings where you wake up and you're instantly just in the weirdest headspace? You're thinking about the most anxiety-ridden shit for no damn reason. Like you woke up not even remembering having a stressful dream or a nightmare. You just wake up with this weight over you and this cloud of just thinking about worst case scenarios and overthinking the littlest interactions. And that was me this morning. And usually when I wake up feeling like that, I really have to tread lightly. I have to tread lightly through my morning. I have to be gentle with myself. And I have to put myself first. And that means doing the things that make me feel good, even if it's the last fucking thing I want to be doing, but getting myself to do the things that hands down, no matter what, always make me feel better. And those two things being, I have so much saliva and congestion still going on. I've been fighting a bug all week. So I'm very sorry if the audio is weird and my voice sounds slimy or just like weird, congested. But the two things I really, it's all kind of congealed into one big topic, and that is body movement. I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it now, and I will continue to talk about it. Body movement has been one of the biggest releases for not only my mental, but my physical and just everything in between. And that includes both stretching and moving and exercising. And I really can't just choose one over the other, because I've noticed that with the stretching, I feel like it really does just release the pent up shit. Like maybe I woke up in a weird space because I had some pent up stuff, but stretching it out, all of a sudden I felt so much better. And then second thing, body movement. Getting outside first thing in the morning with Bandit, going on our long ass walk today. And I'm so glad we did, because when we left the house this morning, it was so dark and so cloudy and so gloomy. And I could tell off in the distance that it was raining. And I was so excited. Living here in Colorado, it is great because there is so much sunshine. And there is so many days that are blue days, and you're really getting your vitamin D all the time. But I was born and raised in Washington State in the Pacific Northwest, where it is rainy and gloomy literally 9 months out of the year, every single year. And leaving that to come here has been the biggest breath of fresh air. But honestly, when we do have our gloomy, rainy days, which are kind of once in a blue moon here, it really doesn't happen that often. It feels like home. It makes me feel so cozy, and it's like I can breathe. The air just feels so fresh. It smells good. You can literally just like feel and hear the dewy wetness on all the leaves and the grass. And oh my God, I was in heaven this morning. It was great. We were walking. We got all the way to our turnaround point, and that's when it started torrential downpouring. I was absolutely vibing in it. Bandit, I don't know how much he enjoyed that downpour, but oh my God, it felt so good. And doing those two things this morning, it just released so much anxiety, because when I woke up this morning, I was specifically stressing about one particular thing. This is probably going to sound so stupid, but I'm going to get into it. I woke up stressed out because it was just recently my father's birthday, maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago at this point. And for the first time in years, I actually sent him a birthday gift. That probably makes me sound like the worst daughter ever, but honestly, the last couple of years, finances have been really tough. Life has been really tough. And it's not like I don't have a close relationship with my dad and I don't FaceTime him and text him and, we go out and visit, but I haven't been the daughter that sends gifts. So this year, I sent him a birthday gift and I was so excited about it because I didn't just buy something off of Amazon and ship it to him. No, 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 no. I custom designed a t-shirt for him because he's kind of like a t-shirt collector. I don't think he actually collects t-shirts, but he has a collection of epic t-shirts that he wears all the time, and I wanted to create something for him that was specific to him, but also tied like a little bit of me in it. And I was so amped on it. And I got it custom printed, had it sent over to him. Granted, the shipping came out a little bit later than his birthday. Whoops. But the gesture is still there. And I was fucking amped. Anyways, my dad got it in the mail the other day. And his reaction was the most underwhelming thing I've ever experienced. Like my heart just sank because he just texted me and he was like, this is where text messaging gets really weird because when I text like I talk. So I will capitalize words, and like when I emphasize something, like if I just wrote that out, I would emphasize, I'd put that in all caps. But basically how I talk is how I text. And I'll put emojis and all that stuff. So you can always kind of tell what mood I'm in. But with other people, it's hard to read because there's no tonality. You can't see their expressions. So I think I just read it wrong. I know he was thrilled by the thought of it, but it was just a very underwhelming reaction, especially when I put so much love into it. Especially when it was the first gift I have given him in so many years. So when I woke up this morning, I was just like in this frenzy in my head of like, why was my dad so underwhelmed with that? Like, did I do something wrong? Is he disappointed in me? Like, what's going on? And I was basically just spinning in my head because I got this flash. In my head and this vision of my dad opening the gift, and the first thing there being is a printed invoice with the total and who paid for it, what card. And that made me nervous because first off, I don't want him to see how much I spent on this, right? It's a gift. Monetary shouldn't matter. Secondly, I didn't want him to see that my partner had actually paid for the gift. Now, before you go off on this, I did not ask him to pay for that gift. I had everything set up. I had all the graphics. I had everything designed. I had picked out a custom print website. I had everything in order. And I was basically just showing my partner like, hey, I just want you to look over this. I just want you to see what you think of this. I'm about to send it off. And he was so excited by the gift because we had come up with the concept together and he wanted to feel a part of it. And he's like, well, at least let me pay because I want this to be a joint gift. And I'm like, you don't have to pay. Like it's joint no matter what. And he's like, no, like you put all the work into it. Let me pay for this. And I know I shouldn't have to explain myself as far as like that whole backstory and why he wanted to be a part of it and have it be a joint gift. And it is a joint gift because it's a joint concept. And we were both really freaking thrilled on this gift. And yeah, I just got in my head and it triggered this insecurity and this flash of just like, and I'm not trying to down talk anybody. It's just like matter of fact. Like, I feel like I know how my parents think. I feel like I know how my father thinks. But maybe I don't. Maybe it's just like, I think I know, but maybe I don't. But I just had this inkling that he was like disappointed, upset, or just like, what the fuck? Why'd you ever I was just getting in my head. And I realized the only way I'm going to solve this internal mental anguish and crisis that I'm creating, probably in my own imagination. First off, I need to take care of myself. So I did that. I stretched and I went on the walk. But then I made the decision that I need to FaceTime my dad today. One of the things I'm working on in my life is initiating communication and contact and relationships with my family, because for so long they've always had to chase me down, be like, oh, we haven't talked to you in a while, like let's FaceTime, like let's catch up. And it would just always give me anxiety because all I wanted was solitude and isolation for those years. But now I'm at this point where, okay, it's my turn to step up to the plate and I'm ready to start initiating, because relationships are a two-way street. So it started with a gift. And then today I was like, yep, you know what? I'm going to FaceTime him. And I'm not going to FaceTime him and be like all attacky and have this like expectation that like this is how it's going to go, and be like, why don't you love this more? Like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you try it on? Why didn't you send me a picture with you wearing it? Like, I don't know. Instead of going that route and just playing this victim of like, oh, poor me, why didn't you love my gift? I was like, oh my God, I'm being such a baby right now. I need to, first off, realize that this is probably all in my head, all in my imaginary brainular, just trying to stress me out for no freaking reason. And I need to release the expectation of this conversation. I need to keep an open mind that he was probably just having a bad day and was low energy, or maybe he was busy with something, or maybe I was just reading the text messages wrong, because sometimes he just texts like very very straightforward. It's my dad. I mean, I'm not going to expect him to use all these emojis and all this stuff, So I FaceTimed him. And it was cool because I initiated the FaceTime, which caught him off guard, surprised him, which I felt like was actually really genuinely awesome, because I wanted to reach out to him instead of him always having to chase me down. So that was already a great first step. And then secondly, when I went into it with an open mind, I was like, okay, it was just his birthday. He just had a birthday weekend, going off to the beach and, having a little romantic getaway. And now my stepmom is out of town for the week, so he kind of has this bachelor pad. So I'm going to focus on, how has your birthday weekend been? How has your week been? Tell me everything. And then I'm going to casually slip in, yo, how's that t-shirt fit? So yeah, we FaceTimed and I kept my cool. And it ended up being one of the better FaceTimes that we've had in like such a long time. There was nothing wrong. I had it all fucked up in my head for no reason. And just by taking the initiative, first off, to take care of myself, release that emotional anguish, the mental anguish, find some peace within myself, get centered, and then take the initiative to find mental clarity in a way that is not attacking and is not going to create more tension or drama or weirdness, but just, I'm creating the mental clarity because I got what I needed out of that. And it was so good to talk to him. Oh my God, it sounds like he has so much going on in his life. And I'm so proud to see him enjoying life so much. Like, that is, it's just so awesome. But yeah, it just made me realize, like, wow, I've spent so many years just wrapped up in my own fucking head and then burying that shit and overthinking about it for weeks on end and weeks on end until one little thing makes me snap and I fucking explode over something that was literally made up in my head. So by taking the initiative to get clarity for myself today, once I got that clarity and I was able to move forward with just like, I can breathe. I don't have to stress about that. Now I can move forward with full intention. Oh, it just feels so fucking good. So that's my story for today. I think that's all I have for today. Basically, just realizing that sometimes living in my own inner world can be my own hell if I don't relinquish and release that shit and find clarity within myself, especially when it comes to relationships and overthinking relationships and overthinking what people say or what they send on text message or if they liked your comment or blah, 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 all the little shit, that we all overthink. A lot of times that's just all in our heads. And if you truly just go into communication and interaction with humanity with an open mindset, releasing that expectation and not going into it like vulture style attack mode, all of a sudden you're going to see so much more open-heartedness from people because we're all human. It almost made me realize today too, feeling that reaction emotionally made me kind of look back at times where I have taken other people's love for granted or other people's gifts for granted, and my reaction probably was not what they were expecting. A lot of those times, it wasn't because I wasn't excited. It was because my headspace was somewhere else, or I was distracted and I wasn't fully living in this present moment. And it just made me kind of feel so much more connected, especially to my dad, because him and I have had, like every parent-child relationship, all relationships. There's good moments and then there's tension moments, and we've all had our tension moments, but my perspective has shifted to where it's like I'm seeing my father through a new lens when I look back at situations where he has gotten upset when I was not fully present in appreciating what he was giving me. Because being on the other end of that and feeling what I felt today, it doesn't feel good. And I don't want to make anybody else feel like that, intentionally or unintentionally. So just being more aware and just seeing people for their humanness instead of like the world owes me everything and I'm always the victim, because that's not the fucking case. There's so much love surrounding me when I open my eyes to it. And when I initiate, I feel the love so much more. So good. Anyways, I think that's all I have for today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, month. Until next time, Ari Lou signing out. Peace punch, Captain Crunches. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Bye.